We live in such a fast-paced world that sometimes you just don't want to make time for what's considered the hard things, like maybe grieving something. And it can keep you from living a full life. And it's one of the reasons we want to bring you the morning focus each morning so that we can focus on what is true and what the Bible says about who God is and who God says you are. This morning, we are looking in Matthew, the Sermon on the Mount. They're called the Beatitudes, when Jesus said, blessed are those. And today's verse, Matthew 5:4 says, blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted.
There's a lot to pick out in this very short verse. And I know when we talk about mourning or grieving, we typically associate that right away with people who have passed, right? And absolutely, this verse applies to that. For those who take the time to grieve the person, to grieve what they've lost in that relationship, that these people will be comforted. But this goes beyond just grieving or mourning the loss of a loved one. Yeah,
it could be as simple as a relationship that you really wanted to work out, but it didn't. Maybe there was a job that either you had or you were going for, and that didn't work out, or a friendship that went away. When you don't sit and grieve those things, there's a great saying, a quote that we found that says, if you don't grieve it, you won't leave it.
Essentially saying when you don't take the time to process and hold those emotions, they're going to just stick and stay with you, and you're going to bring them into the next space. So what we can do instead is say, I'm going to sit with this emotion, I'm going to hold it, which is honestly really scary, which is why the second part of that verse is so good. You're not having to sit with that emotion and that loss alone. You can be comforted in that space.
And that is the promise that you have in Matthew 5:4. No matter what you're mourning, whether it's somebody who passed, a job or relationship or something else you've lost, the promise is that when you grieve, you will be comforted.